Hello there, welcome everybody. It's Diorama Don here, and the subject this time is just a very simple diorama to show off your military vehicle, just a broken brick wall by the side of a cobbled street. So very easy to do, very simplistic, no doors, no windows, no roofs, just a brick wall. That's all that's required. I've gone over many times how I do my cobbled street and paths, and in fact how to make a brick wall I have done in the past, but I think this is a slightly better way of doing things. Looks a little more impressive, I think. So let's get on with the video, and I'll show you how I went about making it. In the meantime, please subscribe to the channel. Cost no money, you won't be sent any emails, you won't be getting any begging letters. All that will happen if you click the notification bell is that you will receive new you will be notified when new videos come along. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's get on with the video and how I went about making it. So to make a start then, we're just going to make a very simple brick wall, broken on both ends, and a little more elaborate than I've made brick walls in the past. So anyway, we'll use the 2mm cardboard as usual. You could use thinner because we're going to stick it to polystyrene, so it won't matter if it's any thinner than 2, but 2 is probably better. And I've decided that it's going to be quite a tall brick wall so that he can't see over the top. So it's going to be 2 meters, something like that, tall, and brick built. I'm going to use my bricks on this side. So we've got the shape then and the length that we want. It's going to be part of a diorama with a cobbled area in front there. So once I've decided how long and how high and what material, so I've cut it out to the shape that I want, and this, I haven't got a long enough piece, so I'll have to do it in 2 pieces. This is going to make up the thickness of the wall, so I'll stick that onto that. If you put the hot melt glue onto the cardboard first and then give it, say, 5 seconds or so, not too long, but just give it a few seconds and then put it onto the polystyrene and press it down, it will stick permanently. If you do it immediately, it can burn into the polystyrene and not stick it, but leave it a little while. So that'll be like that, and then either with a sharp knife or one of these here polystyrene cutters, then I can shape the broken end of the wall with one of these. In fact, I'll do it now because I don't want it to be the same shape as the wall. Same shape as the wall. I want there to be a bit of an overhang like that, so that when I use my sharpened barbecue stick, I can just hack away at the end there, and that will give me my broken wall on the end. I won't do it all, but you can see the idea then that it is broken on the end. Okay, so that's that. I want there to be a plinth all the way along. This is too wide. I didn't bring my 1/2 inch stuff in, but there'll be a plinth all the way along like that. Like that. So that will make it a little more interesting. Then at 2 intervals there'll be the I don't know what you'd call them, these things, the buttresses, maybe, something like that. So one place there will be the thickness of the bricks that I make, and I've made a million videos in the past now as to how I make my bricks with tile grout. So I've made a batch there, and when the bricks are in place all along there, it'll bring it up to the height of this first piece of card. So I want it thicker than that, so I'm going to put 2 more pieces just to bring it out to the right depth, and then a piece like that will be the top piece, and that will make it look architecturally more interesting, especially when the plinth is along the bottom there. You'll see when I put it all together what I mean. Okay, so we've got our buttresses. I don't know what the bits in the wall what hold it up properly. I don't know the terms of these things. Anyway, when I've done that and I've got my depth of or thickness of wall like that, then I can put coping stones along the top, which again will be just pieces of card, maybe an inch and a half long, something like that. So they'll be my coping stones on the top of the wall, and then these architectural features, if you like, that will go on the very top like that. So it'll make that look quite good when that's on the top there. And all these are half-inch polystyrene, cut to just a little wider than your plinth. No, not plinth. This thing, just a little bit wider, so that when that sits on there, it'll just be a little bit wider than that. Then with a very, very sharp knife, just mark out the top where the centre mark is, and then just beyond the centre mark, you can cut down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's your top. Don't worry about it. It may break or chip on the edge. When I put my wall filler, watered down wall filler on the top, when that's dry, it will be as hard as rock and it won't break. So that will sit on the top like that. Okay, so I've got all these bits and pieces to put together. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll be ready for bricking. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so I've finished my wall, put all my bits and pieces of cardboard together, and I think you'll agree that looks like a pretty impressive brick wall. Stuck my individual bricks on. It takes a bit of time, but with PVA glue and making the bricks from tile grout, a red tile grout, it's a good impression. Can't think of the word. It's a good likeness of bricks and a brick wall. So what we need to do now is fill in between the bricks to represent the mortar. So again, I've used tile grout, a grey colour this time. It's great using tile grout because they already come in the colours that you need. There's red and black and well, there's a lot of different colours. So I'll stick that between the bricks there. I should do the whole thing in grey grout, but I'll do between the bricks first, let that dry, and then I'll do the rest. So that's covered all the cracks or the gaps. Then with a damp sponge, just take off the excess. And the red will slowly reappear from underneath. So you can see now I've got mortar between my bricks, and it's good to put this undercoat of wall filler on first, so that when you start getting things a bit damp, if it were just cardboard, it would just disintegrate and wouldn't be any good at all. It would just fall to pieces. So this waterproofs it. Okay, I'll just do this one section. So I've got now my mortar between my bricks. I'll do the 3 sections, let that dry, and then a slightly more watered down version of this to do the plinth and these the pillars. Is that the word? Pillars, yeah. To do the rest of the wall. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that and come back and we'll see what it's like when it's all dry. Okay, so I've finished my mortar, put the mortar between the bricks, let that dry, and then gave the rest of it a coating of the same material but a little more watered down, so that it looks more like concrete. And then with some sandpaper, just go over the corners, if you like, just to pick out the highlights of the architectural features. There, I've said it. And then on the ends, I've just, what I made my bricks from, just crush them up with a hammer and then sprinkle them into PVA glue on the end. And that gives a good enough impression of a broken brick wall. Okay, so there's my wall. I've made a base for which it to stand on. Very simple polystyrene and cardboard surround. I've made the cobblestone exactly the same as I make my bricks, and I've made other videos in the past explaining how I make them. So you can see there's my cobbles. I lost a few there, but it doesn't really matter. It looks more realistic. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Got a bit of a guttering along the side there, just a different angle of stones. Okay, so there's my cobbled area in front. Then I've made on another piece of card, I've just gouged out a pavement with a sharp knife, which again I've made in the past in different videos. That will sit on there, and then the wall will go along there. So that will be the basic shape of the diorama, and then some kind of vehicle in the front here. But it all looks very nice and new and not very weathered. So I'll stick all this down and then go over with a black wash just to darken it down and give it some kind of highlights and make it look more weathered than it is. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that and finish it off basically, and then come back and we'll see what it looks like when it's all done. So I finished the entire project now. I went over, well, I stuck everything down and went over with a black wash, and it makes the bricks weathered nicely. And then when that black wash has dried, then you can pick out with sandpaper the different texture of each brick. And then also with a sharp knife, I don't know if I can get close enough, you can pick off the front of some bricks to make it look like a broken brick. Perhaps you can see on the end there. It's just scraping the surface of the brick off, because it's made from a brick. It's a brick substance. That's what tile grout is. It's powdered brick. So what you're doing is making real bricks. So you can do with these model bricks exactly what you want to do with real ones. So much better than trying to carve them out of various substances. You know what I mean. So a very realistic looking brick wall with the concrete pedestals, these two things. These are as solid as rock. I know they're polystyrene, but because they've got that coating of wall filler on top, it makes them absolutely solid, as solid as a capping stone would be. Okay, so there we are. Put a bit of grass, a little bit of debris on the ends where the broken walls were, and just highlighted a few of the cobblestones with a different colour. It's you could go on forever with cobbled streets. There's all kinds of things that you can do. Just highlight a few again with a bit of sandpaper, colour a few of the cobbles. I've only spent a certain amount of time, so it could be better, but for this purpose I think it's fine. So a very simple diorama, just a brick wall and a cobbled street. You could buy plastic or resin kits that would give you the same effect, but this is so much more satisfying if you make it yourself. Don't or you get a packet of bits of plastic that you have to super glue together, and then you still have to paint it, and you still might make a right balls up of it, even though you've paid a lot of money. This is just cardboard, that's all. Oh, and a bit of polystyrene, and that's it, and tile grout. That's all you need. If you make a mistake, chuck it in the bin, start over. Okay, so I can put my tank there, or whatever military vehicle you have. Stick it that way around, I don't know. And that is the completed thing. So very simple to do. I noticed on a lot of these shows, these model shows that go on, well, all around the world really, with people entering their dioramas, and most of them seem to be very, very simplistic, usually just a tank sitting in a muddy field or something. So I thought I'd go for the simpler subject this time. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, click the like bell. Yeah, okay, so I'll see you in the next video, and in the meantime, have a go yourself as usual, and I wish you the very best of happy modelling.